What's going on, guys? Welcome to the NEW podcast. We got me and QJ here going to be discussing some wrestling topics. We had another podcast, but our buddy Tears has been busy. He's been in and out, not really been consistent with his role and everything, so we decided to make this podcast. QJ, how we doing today? We ready to talk some wrestling?
Let's do it. Good.
Yeah, it's been a lot of news in wrestling. The Vince scandal, the AEW's booking, all the stuff going on backstage, TKO taking over. QJ, what'd you think of Elimination Chamber before we get started? Do you have any thoughts on that before we get rolling since it recently happened?
Elimination Chamber. It was all right. I mean, I don't know. I felt Elimination Chamber was one of my favorite pay-per-views, but I'm not saying the matches was bad. It was good. Just felt could have been a little bit longer. Let something should be. You know what I mean? If something's on the line, you know, I feel they should at least kick out of one finisher. Have people they wasn't really kick out of finishes. I don't know. Compared to when Cena was in it, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, I felt like those elimination chambers actually lived up. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of chambers from the past were a lot more exciting, and these chambers were kind of not that they weren't bad or not that they weren't good chambers, but it just felt like they kind of just you knew as soon as someone got with a finisher they were eliminated. There wasn't no we kicked out of the RKO or it's just nobody kicked out of anything. It's pretty much just you get with a finisher, you're out. I'm not saying guys and women can't kick out or should kick out every finisher, but there's certain ones. It's like you just kind of want to have that moment, like oh shit, Randy kicked out or Logan Paul kicked out or KO kicked out. But other than that, solid pay view. The main event was solid. A lot of fans liked the Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax match, but could have seen a little bit more kickouts, but still a solid pay per view. So let's get started here. So we're gonna be talking about Naomi first. She was in the women's elimination chamber. She's been back with WWE since the Rumble. Returned from TNA. Her and Sasha walked out. They had disagreements with Vince over creative, over the women's tag titles. Which, if you look at the way those titles have been booked, can't really argue with their disagreement with Vince on that. But she returned at the Rumble, got a big pop. They made a big deal, and then she returned. Or after she returned, she was in the chamber. First woman eliminated. Didn't really do a whole lot. Was kind of sloppy in that match, and then as we're recording this, the last SmackDown against Tiffany Stratton. Rumor has it the Rock segment went a little bit longer, so they had to cut some time. But even still, like she looked weak as hell in that match. There are some fans who says she was putting Tiffany Stratton over, which I could see that. But QJ, what do you think of Naomi's recent booking since she's came back?
Not liking it. I mean, she hasn't been booked away. She should be booked. Like you said, that she lost that 3 minute match against Tiffany Stratton. It's ridiculous in my eyes. She was a big deal in TNA. Matches should never be 3 minutes. I feel like it could be at least 10 to 15 minutes. If you're gonna put someone over, I need to showcase what I could do too. So it need to at least be longer than that because that's ridiculous. And I don't know. She just needs to show out more. Let them. I mean, they need to let them show out more. You have plenty of time, so there's no excuse.
No,
Why
that's the
not?
thing with WWE. Like a lot of matches don't go as long as you expect them to. Like not every match is gonna be a 20 minute. It's
Hmm.
WWE. Wrestling don't mean as much there. We get all that. If you want better wrestling, you go watch New Japan, Impact, AEW, all that, Ring of Honor. It's like a lot of the times in WWE, like for example, Balor and Rollins, and they had finals for the title or number one contender or whatever they had. They went like 10 minutes, and it's like, really? You're giving these two guys 10 minutes? And it's like Naomi and Stratton, both of them ain't no Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair in the ring. They're just not. But you couldn't give them 10 minutes to show a little bit more of what both of them could do. You're trying to put Stratton over as this top woman, which she is. She's over as hell, but it's like Naomi's a former women's champion. Y'all having her lose like that, and she just came back. Like it's just unbelievable. But I mean, do you blame her for coming back, or do you think it's because of Jimmy Uso being there, her husband, or was it more money, or because Vince ain't there? What do you think about that?
It could be all above at this point. I mean, you know that. Like I said, Jimmy Uso, but when that money talks, see people skedaddle out and go straight back there. They say, yeah, they'll say WWE, yeah, wasn't what I thought it was. Next thing you know, you see him back. Look at CM Punk, how he back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, money talks. It's WWE has unlimited money, and there are a lot of people come back to WWE from AEW too, or debuting.
mm-hmm.
It's AEW don't sound that great either. We'll get into that a little bit later, but there's a lot of stuff you can be. Even Triple H might do this. He might have promised Naomi, "Oh, come back. You'll get a prominent spot. We'll make you important." A month later, already losing in 3 minutes. Like, it's not hard to
Yep.
sell people to get them to sign. Like, hopefully Naomi's booking improves in the next few weeks, because the last few weeks have been pretty horrible. But she chose to go back there, so hey, it is what it is. But next topic we're gonna be talking about is including WWE, and obviously most of you heard the Ben scandal, and there's been a lot of rumors, and a lot's gonna come out in the next few weeks. This is not even close to being over. There's stories that haven't gotten out yet, people involved who haven't gotten, put out in public yet. Will this go to trial? All this other stuff. But Q, do you think they're going to get rid of everybody who knew about this, or do you think they should just get rid of everybody associated with Vince, including Triple H? Like, how do you think they should really go about this? If all this is true about Vince, this is just accusations, but I'm going with it's true just because it sounds like Vince. But let's just say, right now, would you get, if Vince is accused of all this, would you get rid of everybody who knows or knew about this?
Well, I think they should, I say keep him off TV for a while. I guess you could let him wrestle, I guess, here and there. I mean, if a lot of wrestlers like knew about it, um, I don't know. I feel Vince is gone. They all should be punished to be gone. Because, I mean, everybody just playing, just doing their deal. They just, I don't know, man. They got to realize Vince, he ain't who the person who he said he is. And people should have noticed that back then. These wrestlers should have noticed that back then, too. And the Attitude Era, because he was doing some weird stuff, too. Even on live TV. On live TV. So, I don't know. I feel they just need to be gone. After a while, just go from there. I know it's business, and outside of business is different, but I don't know. I feel like if they still do business there, you ain't gonna look at them the same way. Like that's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of other people have said the same thing, and the way some of the wrestlers have defended Vince, including Cena, which we'll get into what he said a little bit later. But I mean, if a wrestler or executive or a person on the creative team, especially Triple H, the son-in-law, he knew some of this was going on. I'm sorry. I like Triple H as an executive, as a creative, but Stephanie knew what the hell was going on because she got the hell up out of there as soon as Vince came back. You're telling me Triple H didn't have a clue? Come on now. Like, let's just be real. But they just got a clean house, and maybe that's why they brought The Rock back. Maybe he's going to take over eventually, or put his people in there to run it. Not really sure, but I mean, what fans got to realize is a lot of shit Vince did hasn't even been released to the public, and it may never be released to the public. This is stuff happening in 2021.
Hmm.
Think about what was going on back in 2001, 2002, when there was no cell phones, no recording video, none of that was going on. Like, who knows what the fuck was going on back in that company, but WWE has, that's why they brought back The Rock. They wanted to get a positive image on their company with all this negative reception about Vince. So we'll see what goes on, but it ain't looking good for Vince, and couldn't be happier about it. Fuck Vince. He's been horrible for years now. He's a
Hmm.
horrible human being. So whatever happened to him, he deserves it in the end. So switch to another company. AEW's made a lot of big signings, and I was really into AEW in the beginning. I feel like they've kind of fallen off a little bit. I haven't really watched it as much. Still keep up with pay-per-views. It just feels like they've kind of going the WWE road where it's just inconsistent booking. Guys are on TV, off TV. So QJ, I know you don't really watch AEW a lot, but what have you really thought of the overall product the last few months?
Uh, I feel when we first started watching it, it was good. We was into it. I don't know. I feel like they just was putting matches together. Like remember with MJF and Kenny Omega, I think put that on a regular. I think it was a regular show.
Yeah, regular
You
AEW. Yeah.
know, like you said, that's like a come on, that's a pay per view matchup right there. I don't know. It's like you just put matches together with the storyline to it. Um, I don't know. And for these wrestlers that signed, we're all spraying on them. Uh, well, I could say hopefully they get some TV time. Well, good amount of TV time. And then the problem with AEW is too many um stars on the show. A lot of them don't get time like that. And most of the time you be forgetting they even signed with the company. And it's not good to have too much stars. And you have to pay them pretty much a good amount of money. And they're big stars. And wrestling's great, but they need some good storylines and showing a lot to be considered important.
Yeah, agreed. Apparently about the Tony Khan having too many people. Apparently he wants to be loyal to his wrestlers and not fire anybody. I mean, do you agree with his way of going about that, or do you think eventually you have to get rid of some people to open up some spots?
I get it what he's saying, but I'm sorry, you just have to let them go after a while because whoever you really want, they're important that you're worried about, I have to let them go.
Hey, not everybody can, be a big star or even be on your roster. Like sometimes it's best to clear out that budget. I mean, you're pretty much paying
Hmm.
people to sit on their ass. Like you got to get rid of some people. But he signed Okada. He signed Ospreay, two of the big names from New Japan. He signed Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks. He's throwing out a lot of money, and AEW is not making a lot of money right now. And that's our buddy Tears told me through a text. He said, "Well, they're bringing them in to help them make money." Do you agree with Tears' his point with that? Bringing in all these stars, or do you think it depends on how they're booked or how they're presented, stuff like
Depending on
that?
how they book presented, but like you just said, he spent all his money. They ain't even making it back. They're not even making at least majority of that back.
Nope,
So it's a waste.
it
What's
is.
the point of you keep doing it?
Yeah, that's. Listen, Tony Khan's dad's a billionaire. He owns the Jacksonville
Hmm.
Jaguars. He owns a soccer team. But there's only so much money you can have, and if you look at your son and you know the income and everything, and it's just like, what are you doing? But I'm all for AEW. WWE needs its competition, but at this point, AEW is
Hmm.
nowhere even close to WWE. It's just kind of sucks, but they got a pay-per-view, this weekend as we're recording. Hopefully it's good. The wrestling hardly ever disappoints, but to make it in the wrestling world, you gotta do more than just wrestling. You gotta sell tickets,
Yeah.
you gotta sell merchandise, you gotta have ratings, you gotta have attendance, and they have struggled in all those departments lately. So hopefully Tony Khan gets it together. He's never been really in the wrestling business. That's why you can't have anybody just come and run a wrestling company. And we'll see what happens. But we're gonna be talking about one of QJ's favorites, John Cena, and his comments about Vince. And he's made a lot of headlines lately, Cena. He's there's been a lot of rumors about him. There's been a lot of comments about him. QJ says, your favorite. I'll start with what Dutch Mantel said about him. That Cena's not very good in the ring, but he sold a lot of tickets. What are your thoughts on Dutch Mantel saying that?
I feel that I just didn't let him go out there and really perform, only with certain people or bigger stars. So, I mean, you just got to blame the Vince and all them on that.
Yeah,
Kind of
Cena
was
did
holding
show
them
out.
back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, because he showed out against Kevin Owens and Styles and some of the best guys from
Cesaro.
up companies.
Hmm.
Yeah, Cesaro. It ain't like Cena can't wrestle a match. Is he AJ Styles in the ring? No, no, he's
No.
not. But I mean, when he needed to step up against other guys, he did do it.
Hmm.
And not sure if that was him asking Vince or Vince just saying, you know what, go out there and do whatever. Not really sure, but I get what Dutch is saying. A lot of the top guys haven't been main,
Hmm.
good wrestlers, but Cena's just the comments he made about Vince. I'm sure a lot of you have heard. I'm going to read what exactly he said. So here's the comments Cena said about Vince McMahon. I don't think it's complicated to talk about. It's complicated to listen to. That's why I don't necessarily put a lot of time and equity into it. Excuse me. There's still a long way to go. I can say this. I'm a big advocate of love and friendship and honesty and communication. In the same breath, I'm also a big advocate of accountability. If someone's behavior lies so far outside of your value system that the balance shifts of I can't operate in a world where this works, that's the end result of being accountable. Right now, I'm gonna love the person I love, be their friend. I love you. You have a hill to climb. That there is the saying of you don't know who your friends are until shit hits the fan or your back is against the wall. That doesn't make any of what's going on any easier to swallow. Just telling someone you love them, it's a hill to climb, and we'll see what happens. That's that. It sounds so cliche, but it has to be one day at a time. I've openly said I love the guy, I have a great relationship with the guy, and that's that. It's largely my construct of operating with honesty and communication. There are strong leads to handling any problem or achievement. The whole thing is super unfortunate and it sucks. It deals with an individual I love and an entity I love. I want everyone to have the experience that I have. Not only do I tell a friend that I love them, but I switch to the entity and say, how can I help? So QJ, what do you think of your boy Cena's comments about Vince McMahon and these allegations?
I don't know. He just need to be get what you're saying. He just need to be honest and just realize this guy was a terrible person outside of outside the closed doors. I don't care how he was treated. Yeah, he was treated good. Your boss was a sick individual behind the scenes, and his mind is so messed up that that's the problem. That's what money and power. You have all that money and power that gets you. You feel you just get away with anything, but eventually the truth will come out. Someone will break, and I get it. He gave you, you had a successful career. I mean, you made money, so I mean that's all Vince really care about. Yeah, he could have a relationship with you, but you brought the dollars. So
That's it.
I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, that's what him and Randy got to realize, and they wouldn't be where they're at without Vince. They wouldn't have any of the money. They wouldn't be big time stars. Vince gave Randy a ton of opportunities when Randy got caught
Hmm.
on roids and when Randy was having rage incidents and Randy was out partying and all this other shit was going on. Vince gave him a lot of chances. But it wasn't because he liked you. It's because he saw you can make him money. That's why he kept him around. And the same thing with Cena. Cena has made WWE $1 billion over his
Hmm.
15 year career. And Cena can kiss Vince's ass and say he loves him and all this other nonsense. And it's kind of sound like he thinks it's kind of really no big deal, really. He's just kind of like, oh, yeah, well, still going to love him, whatever. That's you. But the stuff Vince has been accused of, if true, personally, I couldn't have a relationship with someone like that. But everybody likes who they like. But Cena's gotten a lot of negativity about those comments, deservedly so. He should have worded that out a lot better. But I don't know if you agree with it. I feel like it's Cena also trying to not say anything that gets him in trouble with WWE because he's always been a loyal company guy. He's always been Team WWE. I, like, I feel like he's not really trying to piss off anybody in the company. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Because I mean, if a company treated me well, and then I start saying bad stuff, who knows? They could probably ruin my image in some way. Because that they done that before. It happened to a lot of people. I said the company treated you good, but I had some bad things. I tell them some secrets, and they realize, oh, you said this about us. They can easily just tear my image down in an instant. So it's like, yeah, I agree. I could definitely agree with that. So it's like, yeah, I know he knows in the back of his mind he ain't right, but it's like, let me just say this, you know.
Yeah, Vince deserves it. He's had a lot of power, a lot of just big time power over a lot of people for a lot of years. He's got what he deserves, and he deserves it all. And a lot of innocent people are going to be losing their jobs, unfortunately, which sucks. But if you knew this was going on, then can't. I mean, and you didn't say nothing, it's kind of a bad look for you. But just a bad situation and all for Vince, or not for Vince, but WWE. But the final topic we're going to be discussing Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns Part 2 at WrestleMania. It was going to be Rock and Reigns. Rock thought he was going to come back and slime his way into the main event again and be a main eventer after about a decade off and take Cody's spotlight and everything. And apparently him and Cody had like a FaceTime or something. And Rock was saying this is best for business. Cody said, I'll do it for the company. I don't really like it, but I'll do it. And the fans voiced their concerns. We Want Cody was trending worldwide for weeks. And we got Cody against Reigns Part 2. And night 1 will be Rock and Reigns against Rollins and Cody. So QJ All-Star, what do you think of this tag team match for night 1?
Yeah, I like it. I think it should happen, especially on the conference stuff like that. But hopefully they better have a stimulation to it. Cody and Rollins wins. Bloodline is not there. They are banned from ringside. The only person should be out there is Heyman. That's it.
They better do that. Yeah, it'd be cool if they did a stipulation, just something on the line for it. Still think Rock might turn his back on Reigns. They've been doing little Easter eggs and stuff like that. Who knows what they got planned? But it's going to be interesting what direction they go in that tag team match. Feel like Rollins is taking the pin because Cody ain't taking no pin. Reigns sure in the hell isn't taking no pin, and Rock ain't taking no pin. So Rollins might just be in this just to take the pin, unfortunately. But we'll see. Hopefully it's a good match. Don't expect The Rock to do too much in this match. But maybe we'll all be surprised. Reigns, he'll probably just do his normal walking around, few moves, talking, blah, 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 like he always does. But it's WrestleMania. Need to see some good matches. And Reigns, personally, never been a big fan of his in-ring work. He's had a few good matches with AJ Styles and Murphy, and him and KO had some good fights. And him and Cody wasn't horrible last year, but I mean, this guy's been champion for 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, and it's getting to a point where it's like, damn, who the hell's gonna beat this guy? If Cody don't beat him this time, who the hell else? But Cuda, what do you think about this match? Do you have any high hopes for it? What do you think the result should be? What are you expecting from Part 2 of Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns?
Ooh, part 2. I mean, look, you had Cody win the Rumble again, back to back. First
First time
time.
since Stone Cold.
Yeah, first time. I mean, first WrestleMania match. We was all hyped. We was ready. It was like, all right, Cody should win this. He got screwed. Interference once again. They just never played out right. It's like y'all couldn't have Reigns win on his own right there. Let him win on his own. It's like they scared to let him win on his own. And disappointment, loss right there, Cody. So we should have won there. People saying it was the best match of all time, best Reigns match they've seen in a long time. Yeah, I'll say it was, but still. And now we move on to this one, this match. So it's like part 2. And all I gotta say is Cody, he has to finish the story.
Oh, he has
What's
to.
gonna be the point of him?
But
What's gonna be the point of him winning that Rumble again? Because I feel he was supposed to win the first time, and then you said plans happened last minute.
yeah, Vince changed plans.
Mm-hmm. Change plans last minute. And I feel if a person wins a Rumble, I feel they should automatically win the match at WrestleMania. Just have a match that's memorable. That's all. Just make it go long, make it be good, make it feel so intense back and forth. Like, oh, we don't know who gonna win. I'm gonna let it feel like okay, even though he's a Royal Rumble winner, possible he could still lose, but he actually came out on top. Like make it feel like he might lose, but nah, he makes that comeback and win. I don't know. It just needs to feel WrestleMania. Before WrestleMania, I'll say it's one of my second. No, actually, it's one of my third favorite pay per view. I just feel WrestleMania, you really need to show out, and guys need to put all out on the table. All out on the table.
Oh,
We should be
100%.
on our feet.
Yeah, fans should be like electric, and they're going to be electric during this match
Hmm.
regardless. Just because it's a big time match, they want a Cody in this moment. Everybody's going to be on their feet, but need to see an in ring, not a classic. You ain't going to get a classic out of Roman Reigns.
Hmm.
We all know that, but Just get Solo the hell up out of there. Tired of him being out there with his hoodie and taking his hoodie off like we're all supposed to be surprised he's out here. Like, bro, you're out here every time he's in a match. Like, you don't need to take off your hoodie and do all this. Oh, I'm here, y'all. Look at me. Like, nah. Get his ass away from ringside. Don't need Jimmy out there. He'll be facing Jay, so he shouldn't be out there either. Reigns needs to prove why he's the best and beat Cody without help. No help.
Mm-hmm.
No Rock, no Heyman, no any of them banned. And he needs to prove why he's the greatest of all time. He needs to prove it. And, you know, a lot of fans say he's the greatest. I don't think he is.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of fans go whatever WWE's booking. If they book Hornswoggle to be the greatest of all time, half the fans will believe it, unfortunately. But it's needs to be a good WrestleMania. But
Yeah, because I don't know. People gotta realize a champion, what a champion's supposed to be like. Not saying he gotta wrestle every week. He should be able to do a once in a month match on SmackDown. He should be actually losing on the regular show sometimes. So it's be like, people be like, oh shoot, Reigns lost. I mean, this guy may have potential of beating him. And he should be competing at every pay-per-view. The man barely competes. They're pretty much just stacking up stats. And people applauding it. Champion should be, they should be facing people, at least on the consistency basis.
at least monthly.
For example,
Sure.
yeah, at least. I mean, we'll go for Cena, for example. All right, look, yeah, he was a U.S. title, so obviously you're going to see that more as a mid-card title. But he honestly, that title felt like a world title, in my opinion. Just the way he was competing, so different people, even though they wasn't winning, but still. It felt me want to tune in. It's like I can't tune in to SmackDown really like that.
Nah, SmackDown's
I
just
can't.
kind of like a lot of fans say SmackDown's a better show, which it might be. I mean,
Hmm.
I tune into shows more because I got an app to watch it and stuff now, but like you never really hear anything big time happening on the shows unless
Nope.
it's just and it's like Reigns every time he's out there is kind of just the same thing. He'll talk about how he's the greatest, blah blah blah. Everybody will point up to the sky, acknowledge me.
Hmm.
Like to me, he's just getting stale at this point. Like, yeah, the stories with The Rock and Cody are great. It's kind of keeping him from being completely stale, but it's like him as champion to me is just ran its course, and it's Cody's time. He's the biggest babyface in Cena. There, it's his time to shine. Whether the fans like it or not, there's the fans who want Rock and Reigns, and we'll probably still get that down the line. But I mean, I don't know. WWE needs to make a change. Reigns can go take a break,
Hmm.
go to Hollywood, whatever the hell he wants to do, and lose that title because it's damn time. It's been time. It is time. He can still be important without the championship. He's Roman Reigns. He still has that aura about him, so he'll still be around. But it's Cody's time. It's also Drew's time. Drew needs to win against Rollins. He
Hmm.
better not lose again because this will be like the fourth or fifth time he's lost. So, but to end this, I'll ask you this: who is Priest going to cash in on, and when do you think he should cash it in? Because it's getting to that time where he needs to eventually cash in, but it's like on who at this point?
Priest cashing on that Rollins match. Need to see that WrestleMania. Go from there. We've been holding that money bank too long. They've been having them hold it for too long. Gotta make a move. Gotta make a move. 'Cause,
I guess he needs to win his cash in. It better not be another theory where he loses
hmm
it. Yeah, we'll see. They've been teasing him and Gunther. He better not cash. I'm not against mid card champions, but to me, Money in the Bank winner should cash in on a world title personally.
Yep.
But
Personally.
we'll see. A lot of fans don't like Priest. They say he's going to be like a Jack Swagger world champion, where he's not going to be a good world champion. Going to be trash. Don't know till we get there, but I mean, we'll see. It's going to be a crazy next month for WrestleMania, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed watching. Comment your thoughts below. See you guys next time.